So today's lesson is Chapter 10, Lesson 3, and it's surface area of rectangular prisms. Okay, for the first problem, problem 1, it says Roberta is wrapping a gift for her sister's quinceañera. She places it in a box with the measurements shown. Number 1 says, what is the area of one face of the box? So you guys know a face is just a side, one side of the box. So this is a face, this is a face, the sides are a face, the bottom is a face. Is everybody with me? Okay, so here we want to find the area of one face. So if I wanted to find the area of the front, this would be a 10 by 10. So 10 times 10 is equal to 100. So this is going to be 100 square inches. Number 2 says, how many faces does the box have? So even though you can't see them, you know it has a front and a back. That's 2. It has a top and a bottom. That's 2 more. And it has a side and a side. So that's 2 more. So they have how many sides? 6. Very good. So there's 6 sides there. Now, it's number 3 says, what operations would you use to find the surface area of the box? So in other words, what is, if we want to find out how much wrapping paper goes on the front and around the whole box, what would I do? What operations would I use? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division? Multiplication. We would multiply because we'd find the area of a face, and then what else? And then we can add them all together, right? So we could use multiplication and addition. The surface area of a rectangular prism. This is what we're talking about today. The surface area, or SA, of a rectangular prism with length L and width W and height H is the sum of the areas of the faces. In other words, sum, of course, means that we're going to add. Very good. We're going to add them. And then to find the areas, what are we going to do to find the areas? We're going to multiply. Is everybody clear? So here, if I have, if I'm looking at this box here, okay, we want to make sure we write down this formula. Okay, we've got the front and the back. And remember, there's 2 of them exactly the same, right? The front and the back. So here we have 2 times the length times the height. This is the length and the height, right? Does everybody see that? So this is the front and the back. See, it's the front and the back. You see those are 2 congruent parallel sides, right? So that's the front and the back. So that's length times height. That's the front and the back. Okay? Then we also have this next part, 2 times the length times the width. So here's length, and here's width. That's the top and the bottom. So it's the top and the bottom. Is everybody with me on that? And since there's 2 of them, I just need to find the area of 1 and multiply it times 2. That's why we have 2 times the length times the width. Make sense? All right. And then we have the 2 sides. So we have this side, and to find the area of that side, it's width times height. So there's 1 here, and there's 1 there. Is everybody with me? Okay, and once again, 2 of them exactly the same. That is the reason why we're multiplying times 2 here. This is why we have the formula 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the height times the width. There's a front and a back, there's a top and the bottom, and then there's both of the sides. Please make sure you write down even this red, green, and blue stuff that I wrote here, okay? Now down here is what each of these is what this box looks like if it's opened up, okay? For for the surface area of the prism, the sum of the surface area is the sum of the areas of its faces. So once again, this box, this is what it looks like when it's opened up. Okay, so we've got the top and the bottom. There's the bottom and there's the top. We've got the two sides right here and here. And then we've got the front and the back, those two. Okay? All right. So, for example, it says find the surface area of the rectangular prism. So here we want to find the area of the front and the back. Okay, so that's the area is 48 meters for the front and the back, so we're going to multiply 2 times the 48. For the sides, it's 42, so we're going to multiply 2 times the 42. You with me? And then for the top and the bottom, it's 56, so we're going to multiply 56 times 2. So then we just add them all together, we end up with 292 square meters. Is everybody clear? All right, so here, let's do the got it. So the first thing we want to do is we want to find the area of the front and the back. So here are the front and the back. Okay? So to find that area for the front and the back, we're going to do 2 times a length times a height. So that's going to be 2 times 10 times 15. Does everybody see where we're getting those numbers? Okay, so the surface area is equal to 2 times 10 times 15. Then we want to find the top and the bottom. So the top and the bottom are these two. Does everybody see that? Now, to find the area of this top and bottom, okay, there's the 15. What am I going to multiply 15 times? Times
15.
Times 10. You see that? Yes, you were. So here, there's the 10. That 10 is the same as this right here. You got that? So this is going to be, let's do it in green. This is also going to be 10 inches. So it's going to be 15 times 10. You got it? So we're going to add that. 2, because there's 2 of them. 2 times 15 times 10. And now we want to get the sides. So here are the sides. Now, if I want to get those sides, what am I going to multiply? 10 times? Just 10 times 10, right? So that's 10 times 10, and there's 2 of them, so we're going to multiply times 2. So this is your formula, this is your substitution, and now we simplify to get the answer. So 2 times 10 times 15, 300. 2 times 15 times 10, 300. And then 2 times 10 times 10 is 200, and now you just add them together. So we have 800 inches squared. Is everybody clear? Now remember, this is surface area, right? So because it's surface area, it's square units. All right, so now we're going to find surface area using that formula. So now that we've derived the formula, now all you have to do is use it. Yeah. So you can use nets or models to find the surface area of a rectangular prism. You can also use a surface area formula to find the surface area. Okay? So, for example 2, it says find the surface area of this rectangular prism. So first we're going to find the area of the front and the back. Okay? So the area of the front and the back, there's the front and there's the back. Okay? We are going to multiply, since there's a front and a back, 2 times the length, which is 7, times the height, which is 4. When we multiply 2 times 7 times 4, we get 56. So now we want to do the top and the bottom. So here's the bottom, there's the top, there are the shapes. So to find the top and the bottom, there's 2 of them. So that's 2 times 7 times 5, which is 70. You got that? So here's the side, there's one, and there's the other one, right? So here, what we're going to do the 2, because there's 2 sides, right? Then we're going to multiply the height and the width. So here, this is the height. You see it? That's 4. Now I want this measure right here, or that measure right there. So that's going to be what? 5. Okay? And that's where we're going to get that 5. So we have 2 times 4 times 5, which is 40. Okay? So now we have the front and the back. We have the front and the back. We have the top and the bottom. And now we have the 2 sides. And now to get the total surface area, you just add them all together. And we get 166 square feet. So now, here's our got it problem. This is the one we're writing down. So we want to find the surface area of the rectangular prism. So, here's the formula. There's our formula. And we want the front and the back. So to get the front and the back, what are we going to multiply? 4 times 2. So we're going to multiply 4 times 2 to get the front and the back, right? And because there's a front and a back, there's 2 faces, we're going to multiply times 2. So that's 2 times 4 times 2. Is everybody clear with that? All right. So now, take that one away. We're going to look at the top and the bottom. There's the top, and there's the bottom. Is everybody good with those? Okay, so to get the top and the bottom, we're going to multiply what times what? 4 times 3. Very good. So, and then there's 2 sides, or faces, so we're going to multiply times 2. So 2 times 4 times 3. And now we're going to find the sides. So here's one of the sides, and there's the other side. So, what dimension do I know here? This is 3, and if I go to the other side, that's 2. So we're going to multiply 2 times 3 times 2. Yeah. So it's 2, because there's 2 sides, right? And then the area of the side is the 3 times 2. You with me? So now we simplify to get our final answer. So the surface area is equal to 2 times 4 is 8 times 2 is 16. Then 2 times 4 is 8 times 3 is 24. And then 2 times 3 is 6 times 2 is 12. So now you just add all of those together and you get 52 meters squared. Is everybody clear? And of course, just as a reminder, this is surface area. So my units are units squared. Very good. All right, so a geode is being sent as a gift. It is packed in a box that measures 7 inches long, 3 inches wide, and 16 inches tall. What is the surface area of the box? So here, these are the dimensions. We've got 7 inches long. That's the length, right? Then we've got 3 inches wide. That's the width. Very good. And 16 inches tall is the height. It's 16 inches tall. So it's the height. You with me? All right. So now to use our formula, 2 times the length times the height plus 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the height times the width. There's my formula, and all I have to do now is substitute the numbers for the length, the width, and the height. Is everybody clear? So once we do that, this second line is what we get right here. Then we simplify and then add them all together to get our total surface area, which is 362 square inches.